What up, IDS Mob? HarryWilmington here, and today we're answering a question from a guy who is dating a woman that has high standards, and he wants to know how he can make her want to date him for him and not how much money he can spend. So it goes like this. I'm talking to a woman with high standards. We met on a dating app, so we call each other up, and I find out she wants a guy to make six figures and to go fine dining at least once a month. I'm not broke, but I'm not made out of money either. What can I do to make her want me for me? And how am I able to not spend as much money while I'm with her? Well, the answer is you can't. The reality is she's telling you up front exactly who she is, and for you to try to go in there and act like you can change her agenda is futile at best and asinine at worst. Here's the thing, guy. To start off with, she says that she has high standards. That is code for I am bougie, I am hard to deal with, and I want to spend all of your money. Notice she's not saying she's bringing her money to the table or that she's going to spend money taking you out any place or treating you for a good time. She's wanting to spend your money, all right? So that's the first thing. And again, she has said this up front. Secondly, you guys met on a dating app and she's already talking about on a first phone call that you as the guy need to make six figures. She's telling you she's about the money. She's telling you that if you ever in life go below making six figures, that she's not gonna stick around, meaning she's not gonna be a good partner who's gonna stick with you for better or for worse. Because I'm telling you now, you could be making six figures plus a year, and then maybe you decide to switch careers, or maybe your job goes away and you don't have money coming in for a little bit. Is a woman going to now stick with you and support you and help you get out of that funk? Or is she gonna be like, well, you're making $90,000 a year now, it's not six figures, so I'm out. Do you want that kind of stress? Do you want to worry about every day of the rest of your life, if I'm not making X amount of money, my woman's no longer going to love me? And then you have to question, what is her love for you actually built on? Is it based on your personality? Is it based on how you make her feel? Is it based on the connection you guys have? Or is it solely based on your dollar amount? Now again, it sounds like I'm hating on this woman, but this woman is telling you up front what she's about and what she wants out of a relationship. And you might be the guy that's thinking, well, I know relationships are more than just about how much money I bring, and I want to be able to show that I'm a good guy and that I don't have to have a lot of money to have the connection that we need to be strong in order to stay together. And I'm telling you, that is not worth your time. I'll tell you a true story. Many, many years ago, I met a woman on a dating app and we went out for New Year's Eve because at the time she didn't have anybody, I didn't have anybody, and I was like, you know what, hey, I know we just met on this app, but why don't we go out for New Year's together? And we did. And I planned a nice little meal at my apartment and then a nice park walk where they were gonna be having fireworks and stuff. So we did all that. She came over, we had dinner, we went out and walked around and saw some fireworks. It was all, in my opinion, very, very lovely, right? The next day she hits me up. The next day, and I always tell you guys, you wanna wait 4 days because you wanna see if they're gonna reach out to you. So in this case, the next morning, she reached out to me. It's now New Year's Day. And she was like, hey, we should meet up for breakfast. And I had something else to do. So I went to do the other thing first. And then I met up with her for like brunch time, right? So we go to this restaurant. It's just like this cafe diner. And it's not that it was the most expensive restaurant, but importantly, she ordered the most expensive meal on the menu. It was like a steak and something. It was like a $30 meal, right? At a cafe. Now keep in mind, she hit me up and asked me if I wanted to go to breakfast. Usually, most women, if they do that, usually it'll either be that they're gonna treat you or they're gonna at least split the bill because they're recognizing that it's early in the dating process and them asking you out might not have been something you were planning for, so they're not gonna try to spend your money. And this is not the case where that happened. In this case, she fully expected me to pay for it. Now, during the course of that meal, she started going on and on about, I need to get a new phone and my phone bill's really late and I really should get it fixed. And I've been driving this car, but my car and it's kind of all. So basically she's mentioning all these things that need to be paid for. And at this point in the game, I already knew what was going on. She's mentioning these things because it's her passive way of saying, and I want you to pay for it. I want to see if you're going to be a chump enough and a simp enough to actually pay for the stuff that I'm talking about. So she told me about her phone and I said, that's too bad. You should get that fixed, yada, yada, yada. We finished up the meal. I pay for her half of the meal. Because at this point, I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm already getting bamboozled. She got another meal out of me. Congratulations. And then after that, she was like, hey, we should go walking in the shopping center. So we drive over to the shopping center and we start walking around. And we walk to the phone store for the phone company that she's with, and she's in there looking at how much her bill is and like, oh my God, I really need to pay this soon because X, Y, and Z. And I'm standing there like, you must think I was born yesterday because I know exactly what you're doing. And I'm saying this in my head, not to her. So then we walk out of that store because I didn't pay for her phone bill, and we walk by this other store where there's this really nice dress in the window. And she's like, oh my God, I'd love to get that dress. It looks so pretty. I can see myself wearing it places and yada, yada, yada. And again, what is she doing? That's supposed to be the hint to me that I should be paying for this dress. And I just look at the dress like, oh yeah, that's a nice dress. Keep on walking. So after all that, I drop her off back to her place. By the way, she was living with her dad at the time. So anyway, after that, could you guess what happened the next time that I tried to hit her up? She was suddenly no longer interested in going on a date. Now, at that point, neither was I. But I wanted to see this thing through. Like, I needed to see if I call her up, if she's gonna still pay attention or if she's like gonna be out because I didn't pay for stuff on the previous date. And that's what happened. The point is, at the point where I wasn't gonna be a wallet for her, suddenly, no more feelings, despite the fact that we had a great first date and all that good stuff, just wasn't feeling it all of a sudden because of the money aspect. And that's what I don't want you guys to fall into. I don't want you guys thinking that you're gonna be able to go in and change these gold diggers' minds into not being a gold digger anymore. That might be something that she does along the way on her journey, like when she's 35, 40, 45, when she's still single and realizes maybe she should lower her standards. But I don't want you to fall for the trap of women telling you, I have a standard, and that standard equates to you having to make six figures and pay for her lifestyle. Because the reality is that when women like you, they're gonna come into your life and wanna be with you, and it's not gonna be all about how much money you have at the time. And realistically, if you're a single dude that has no kids and not a whole lot of responsibilities, if you're making $50,000 to $60,000 a year, and a woman comes into your life and she's also making the same amount, you guys both are now making six figures. You can comfortably live a day-to-day with just that money, and at the same time, have enough money to put aside to start building towards other things and investing in other things that you both can do. But for her to be relying solely on you and talking about how early on in the dating process, you need to already be bringing six figures to this, you're not gonna change her mind. She's not gonna be a better person. She's telling you who she is, so you can't blame her later if you hear this and say, but I'm gonna still try it out anyway, and then be surprised on the other end when she leaves you because you're not making six figures. Like, that's just not how this works, all right? So, she told you how she is. If that's not something you wanna deal with, then go back on the dating app and find somebody else that will better fit the kind of lifestyle that you're gonna actually bring to the table, all right? So hopefully, Guy, this helps you out. If this did help, then leave a cash app of some kind or a monetary thank you on the website by clicking on the tip jar tab, all right? For the rest of you guys, be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and go to introvertdatingsuccess.com to check out my ebooks, audiobooks, programs, and music albums, all designed to help you date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.
You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-class man. You a high-class man. You a high-earning, high